I'm using all of it. You get that, right?
I am also the whitest person in the world.
Okay, and I'm me.
I'm me now.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is your name?
My name is Sydney.
Okay.
Not related to Sid Vicious. That I know of.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay. So, who are you on a soul level?
On a soul level, I am extremely empathetic, sometimes like to the point where I can't stop thinking about all the problems in the world, which is a problem. When my friends have problems, I like to be there to listen. So I think I'm like a deeply caring person, and I hate it when people I care about are suffering.
Do you feel like you overthink about like the sadnesses of the world and kind of like drive yourself into a crazy sadness?
Yeah,
sometimes?
I'm definitely a ruminator. Like it's a big problem. I've recently been trying to learn how to meditate because I need to stop constantly like thinking about problems.
Yeah.
And like they're not even my problems. The worst thing is when I see animals that need to be adopted or like that are strays or whatever. Like when you see the ASPCA commercials, have to change the channel immediately or I will cry. If I could adopt every stray cat or dog in the world, that would be like my goal. Because I constantly see those things and I'm like, oh my God, that just ruined my day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For sure. Okay. So are there any life events or major happenings like in the world that have, I guess, affected your ways of thinking or how you process things?
I don't know that it changed how I think about things, but I think one of the issues I really am focused on right now is what's going on in Syria. How people feel about immigration, like the whole politics around it. Just watching those innocent people like be bombed and killed is really disturbing to me. And it makes me feel disturbed that there are so many people who don't want to let those people in. I mean, they act as if they have a choice and they're trying to come to the United States because they want to come invade our country or that they have some ulterior motives. And I just look at it as, you know, that could be us. That could be, somebody could be bombing the United States and that could be your mother, your father, or your sister or brother dying. You know, like children getting bombed in the street, and you see these people dying and you don't want to let them in and save them when they have literally nowhere else to go. And that really disturbs me.
Yeah.
Like on a huge level. So, yeah.
So what do you think as a generation, like, we can do about it?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that we can do is try to use our voices and try to get involved. I don't know. I mean, speaking for myself, I care a lot, but I do very little about things, you know. If I cared that much, well, I care a lot. But if I really wanted to, like, put those thoughts into action, I would get involved. I would, you know, run for office or something like that. Like, it sounds crazy, but,
No, it doesn't.
I mean, everybody who runs for office is just a person who had an idea or a dream. Like, look at Barack Obama.
Right.
Look at Beto O'Rourke, you know. So I know there's this really cool, I don't know if it's a campaign or a website, but it's called She Should Run. And it's like a grassroots kind of thing that helps you get involved or helps people that you know are really passionate people get involved in running for office, like even starting at your local level. I think that people of our generation should do more stuff like that, like get off our phones and stop trying to throw money at the problem and actually like get out and do things. You know.
So since you said you're someone who doesn't really take that much action, what do you think it would take for you? Because everybody doesn't take that much action,
Exactly.
Right? So what do you think for you personally would get you to be like, okay, like I'm done with this. It's time for me to like do something.
Like something really bad would have to happen, I think. You know, like somebody's rights being taken away further than they already are. Or I honestly, I think if they overturned Roe versus Wade,
Just started getting like hands made
If it started
Tale-ish.
getting like Handmaid's Tale-ish,
Yeah.
then I would, because right now, you know, I'm gainfully employed. I don't like really have time for that stuff. I just
Right,
kind of
right,
stay in
right.
my lane. I do my suburban middle class thing. But I think if we started going down that like creepy dystopian path, then
Yeah.
I would care less about those things and more about like what's the world gonna look like
Right,
if I
right,
don't
right.
do this. You know, like the cost would have to be less than the reward, which sounds terrible, but
You're being honest.
I am.
Okay, so there are 3 categories that I'm
Okay.
going to give you, and these things don't necessarily have anything to do with each other, but they could if you're that kind of person. So the first category is love, sex, and relationships. The next category is society, culture, and politics.
Okay.
And the third one is spirituality and religion. So you can see how those things like go together, but they also are like very opposite of each other.
Yeah.
So which one of those categories means the most to you and which means the least to you?
I think society, culture, and politics, I think that's what you said, means the most to me.
Okay.
And religion and spirituality means the least to me.
Okay, so why does society, culture, and politics mean the most?
I'm so into politics. Like, it's ridiculous. I listen to NPR every day on my way to work, and that's how I kind of learn what's going on in the world. And I just find it super interesting. I don't know. Not that people have such vastly differing opinions, but I don't know. Like, some beliefs that people have, like, I can't fathom how they got there. So having, like, the debates about them, I enjoy. And, like, that's how we change... That's how we change, you know, policies in our country. And culture totally influences that. Like, I was listening to some segment on NPR the other day about gay rights and how, like, 5-6 years ago, like, Barack Obama was against overturning the Defense for Marriage Act, you know, and making gay marriage legal. And this whole thing where it's become way more culturally acceptable has only happened in the past 5 or 6 years.
Right,
you know,
right.
like, that's crazy to me, like, how culture can shift politics so vastly, and like that gives me hope. So I like need to look at that, and I need to like see where we're going and kind of see how things are shifting. And I love people too. I love like people's differences, like things that I have in common with them. I love like hearing people's different stories too. I just think it's so fascinating. Like, I love reading Humans of New York stories.
Yes.
And also Post Secret. Because it's so cool. And it's cool when you come across like a secret that you're like, damn, that's me too, you know? So I think that's why I feel that way about that one. And then religion and spirituality, I don't know. I have like a complicated relationship with that because I don't know. I don't really know what I believe. Like, I think I'm a Christian, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Haven't really got into that too much.
Okay. Were you raised Christian? Is that why you think you're Christian?
Yeah, I was raised
Okay.
Christian, so I think that's probably why, because, you know, if you were raised something from the
Right,
time
right.
you were, like, a little kid, you're gonna believe that. But my family's not, like, my mom and dad aren't religious, so, like, we didn't go to church regularly or anything.
Right.
But it's, like, a thing that every couple of years I find myself, like, revisiting, and I'm like, I want to solidify what I believe here. Like, I was baptized when I was 19, because I went through, like, a period my sophomore year of college where I was like, I'm going to go to church and blah, blah, blah. And, of course, it didn't last.
Right.
And then recently, just now, I've gone through another phase of that. Brian and I were going to a Christian church in Elkridge, but I find their beliefs are a little too extreme for me. So I don't know. It kind of scared me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they did a whole like series about like being against sex before marriage. I was like, this is weird. I have to leave. So
True.
no, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to get you to draw.
Okay.
So, I want you to pick a color that represents your mood right now, and I want you to pick a color that represents your life. And you can pick multiple colors if you want to, but if you kind of know, like, you know, what your colors are, we could go with those.
Okay. All right.
And then here's your pad. And then I want you to tell me why you picked the colors that you picked, and which one is your mood and which one is your life.
Okay. So this crazy pink color is my life. My life is not crazy in any way, but I really like to see the good things about every day. So I'd say I picked this because it's super bright. Also, I love the brand Lily Pulitzer, and I love to wear like crazy clothes that are like bright. My boyfriend calls them like my MC Hammer clothes. I basically look like I'm from the 80s, so that's this. And then this color is my mood. Like, I was in a really crappy mood earlier today. Like that kind of mood where everybody annoys you. It's like you have that weird itch in your stomach, and then somebody talks to you and you just want to punch them in the face. Like, especially people who have no common sense coming and asking you stupid questions at work. So that's like the dark, and then I got a lighter color in there, and you mix them together and you get this teal, and the lighter color is I'm in a good mood now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good. But, all right, so you're just going to draw through the whole thing, do your best, because I know it's hard to draw and answer questions, but most people don't finish, so don't feel bad.
That's what she said. I really love The Office.
So, what makes you the most upset?
Damn, why is this a hard question? Being disrespected. Being disrespected makes me feel the most upset. Like, I get pissed off at people having lack of common sense, whatever, but I think people being inconsiderate of me really pisses me off. Because I try very hard to, like, be considerate of other people. You know, like, I hold the door for people. I, like, say please and thank you. I don't do things if I know it's going to totally inconvenience other people. So when other people do it, they probably don't even mean anything by it, but I think in my head, like, you're doing this to be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, not just, like, when people don't hold the door for you, but, like, somebody stealing your parking spot when you're, like, legitimately waiting for it right there. Or there's this mean old lady who lives in my building, and she's probably like 90, and I'm getting pissed off at this 90-year-old lady. But her son drops her off from like a visit or whatever and parks his car right in the front of my apartment building. And then she's walking in with her freaking walker, and she just like stops right in the middle of the doorway and is talking to her son. She never smiles. She's like, I'm 90. And she just stands there and is like talking to him and doesn't move. And like I get pissed off and I'm like, this is a 90-year-old. You can't feel like that. And I'm like, lady, you've been around for 90 years. Like, you haven't learned consideration in that time, really? You don't see me standing here? So that really pisses me off. Also, oh my God. People driving slowly in the left lane.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's such a first world problem, but you know, I don't think they teach it in driver's ed that you should not be in the left lane unless you're passing. But like, if you're on 95 or 695 and you're going less than 80 miles per hour, get out. And I ride their ass, and sometimes I do like the high beam flash. But the thing is, if you have to get to that point with somebody, they're probably like the defiant person who stays in the left lane and just like doesn't move no matter what. And you pass them and you go like this, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, so like, there's so many people in this world. Just be considerate of each other. Like, if everybody did that, the world would be such a better place.
For sure.
So.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so what excites you more than anything?
What excites me more than anything? Concerts. I love going to concerts. It's a thing that, it's kind of my mom and my thing. She started taking me to concerts when I was like 13 or 14. I I don't know, up until I was like 11, I used to like to listen to, I don't know, like regular pop radio. There's a station in my hometown called B104, and my dad listens to it because he's kind of he's like a square guy, you know, and he's like the dad who wears like jean shorts and tube socks and then those New Balance sneakers, you know, like God. The dad, that is literally my dad's daily uniform with a t-shirt or a polo tucked into his jean shorts. So whatever, B104. My mom loves alternative music, so she kind of got me into alternative music when I was around that age. And so I started listening to it, and then she would like take me to concerts, and we would go to Philly because my hometown's like an hour from Philly. And there was this concert venue called the Electric Factory, and up in the top area, like the balcony section was for 21 and older. So she would go up there, and I'd be like 13 or 14 running to the front, like trying to squeeze past all the people and like get right up against the rail because I'm only 5'1". It was fun. And my mom is currently going through a divorce, and she was going through some really bad stuff last year, and we ended up going to 11 concerts together. So I think that was kind of like her therapy.
Yeah. Sure.
But like I just love the energy at concerts, like standing or sitting, just like getting really into it when it's your favorite band, singing along, being around all the other people that love them as much as you do.
Right.
You know, like it's crazy energy.
What's the best concert you've been to?
So my favorite band and favorite concert is the band The Struts. I've seen them like 7 times now, and my mom and I are going to see them another 3 times this year. So the reason I love them so much, like I love their music when I listen to it recorded, but like seeing them live is incredible. They have so much energy. They do a meet and greet like before the concert. I mean, you have to pay for it, but if you pay for it, you get to be the first person, like the first people in the venue, and like get up against the rail. And they do like all this sing along and like clap along crap. They have people come up on the stage. The lead singer is always like sweating like crazy by the end. And they're from England. Like, what more can I say? But I can be tired as hell. And like there's some bands I would never go and stand for because I don't like them that much. Mm-hmm. But the Struts I love so much that like I have to stand. I will stand for hours, and it makes me want to jump and sing and scream and whatever, like even if I'm tired and even if my legs hurt. So it like gives That's you awesome. It like freaking gives you life.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
I can feel that for sure. Make a face that explains you. Like, if you were a facial expression, what would it be?
I have this stupid ass facial expression that I've been doing since I was in like 7th grade. Because, I don't know, I was like a ham in high school. And Brian hates it, so I don't do it when he's around. Hang on, I have to stop laughing. It's literally this face. Oh wait, this makes it even better though. So that's the face because I'm like silly as hell. I don't know, like with my close friends and with my boyfriend, like we are just constantly joking and like trolling each other and stuff like that. So I'd say that.
Okay. I've definitely seen that face.
Yeah, you have.
Okay. So what is your favorite song right now or ever?
So I'm really into Queen songs right now.
Oh my God, I love Queen.
Actually, no, I take that back. Okay, I love Queen, but my favorite song right now, I recently watched The Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Fucking amazing. And the band Top Loader, who I never heard of before this, does a really great version of Dancing in the Moonlight. It's like It's like funky kind of. I am also the whitest person in the world.
Explain to me what social media is to you.
Oh, it is the greatest form of voyeurism ever. I don't post too much to social media. Like, sometimes I post And honestly, when I post pictures or whatever, it's just because I really want the gratification of likes. Whatever. Like, it doesn't mean that much to me, but I'm like, ooh, somebody likes this. Cool.
Right.
It's basically just that. It's like somebody kissing your ass. But my favorite thing to do, actually, and especially right after I graduated from high school, was to like stalk people that I went to high school with on Facebook, especially ones that like accidentally got pregnant.
Damn.
I know, that sounds terrible. And then it transitioned at a certain point to like, oh, this person got pregnant, but they did it on purpose. And now it's like people are getting married.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And, you know, I think about like my 10-year class reunion is coming up. And I think about like, why do we even have those anymore? Because now we have social media. So I know what you're doing. So why do we need to reunite? I'm reuniting by looking at you on Facebook. It's basically, yeah, it's just like a way to garner approval, really.
For sure.
Especially like for people who really need that. And I think also it's a way to bring other people down, and not on purpose, but like people who don't really have high levels of self-esteem or are going through a rough time or a divorce or whatever. Like, everybody's life looks picture perfect on social media, even though it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't post bad shit that happens to you on social media. You're like, yay, just got like a ring and blah blah blah, like on there, you know. So it makes other people feel bad.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. What is the most challenging thing you've had to go through?
My parents got divorced when I was like 2, so I don't have any memory of them ever being married, but they like there was like the whole custody thing because I was a minor, and when I was a kid I used to go back and forth between the two of them, so it was a week with my mom and a week with my dad, and that really sucked because they had different rules. So my mom would take me to concerts and like let me be my gothic self and whatever in middle school, but my dad was not cool with that. Like, I had to pick off my black nail polish before I got to his house, and my stepmom would see it and like tattle on me. If I was with him, I was not allowed to go to concerts, except he did let me go to Warped Tour one time when I was 14. But then I don't know, I was like 15, I think I was in 10th grade. My dad and I just like were not getting along in any way. I got my first cell phone and I paid for it, I paid the bill, but he wouldn't let me have it at his house. Like, I had to keep it downstairs plugged in. He wouldn't let me talk on it, I don't know why. But he would drop me off at the movies and let me stay there till 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, so it was just like very strange priorities. We were really getting on each other's last nerve. So I decided I wanted to live with my mom full time, but like telling your parent you don't want to live with them anymore is very hard.
Yeah.
So I was really scared. So I told my mom to come get me, and then I told my dad like real quick before I left. And then I didn't talk to my dad for like almost a year. So I went to live with my mom, and I think the next time I talked to my dad, he told me he had like major surgery. He has diverticulitis, and he had to have a foot of his intestines removed, and I had no idea. Like, he could have died or something, and I wouldn't have known. So that was really hard. Like, it was, I enjoyed living with my mom after that, but, you know, knowing that your dad is really hurt because of something you did, like, feels like shit. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we have a good relationship now.
Yeah,
it's more like a peer relationship, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. What don't you want to tell people but you know you should share because it would help somebody else, like, get through something?
When I was 18, and I really like forgot about this until a year and a half ago when I told my mom nonchalantly, and she was like, that's really bad. When I was 18, I had just graduated from high school, and I really liked this guy who was a year older than me. He had also gone to my high school, and he went to Penn State. You know, he was a freshman, I was a senior, and my best friend and I at the time went to visit him at college, blah, 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 and we, like, started dating, whatever. It wasn't, like, he was kind of a douche.
Yeah.
But I was staying at one of my close friend's house one night that summer, And I was texting this guy that I had previously dated and that I liked, and I was also really drunk, like so drunk, and I smoked salvia too. And they decided they were gonna come get me, like this guy, because he was having a party at his house. So he came and picked me up. I couldn't even walk. He and my friends did not want me to go, and he literally carried me, and he was sober. I woke up the next morning in the back of like an SUV with no pants on, and we had sex, and so basically I was raped. So, and it's like a thing that feels awkward to tell people. Like I told Brian, my boyfriend, but I don't know, like it sounds so stigmatizing coming out of your mouth, like I was raped, I'm a victim of rape, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things that kind of doesn't feel like rape. So when you say it, it's like, is it really though? Like I was really drunk and I don't remember anything, but it is, you know?
Right.
And I think a lot of guys, especially like ones that are in high school or like in college, don't realize or don't want to think about the fact that if you have sex with somebody who's intoxicated, that's rape.
Right.
You know, especially if they can't stand, you are raping them. So,
yeah. Thank you.
You're
For
welcome.
opening up about that. It's important for people to know.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
more people go through it than...
Absolutely, and probably more people than even realize happened to
Yeah.
them. They probably don't even realize it happened to them because, I don't know, I feel like the definitions are changing. Like, the definition has always been you should not have sex with, you know, somebody who's intoxicated.
Mhm.
But now the lines are becoming more defined. Like, this is wrong, as opposed to, well, I don't know.
Right,
You know,
right.
like, it's now, this is wrong. So you have to think back on, did this happen to me?
Mhm.
Yes, it was rape. So.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life?
Shit, what is the craziest thing I've seen in my life? I'm trying to think of like something terrible that I've seen. Or like something awesome.
Right. It doesn't have to be
It doesn't have to be
terrible.
terrible.
But
Well,
it's
my
just
like
something that like blew your mind.
I know, like my morbid ass self is like, have I seen anybody die? But like no.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen anybody die. I really don't want to see that either. So actually, okay, one of the craziest things was I went to Phoenix a couple years ago. I think it was 2016, and we went to Sedona for the day. And there are crazy ass like canyons and like those, I don't know, like those weird clay colored
like
big
dunes?
rock things.
Yeah, something.
It looked
I
like a
don't know.
painting, but you were actually there.
Yeah.
It looked like a crazy painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane.
So a landscape. Is
Yeah,
the
like nature.
'Cause it's I feel
Nature.
that.
I feel like
that.
the craziest thing I could see is I'd really like to go to Redwood National Park. Oh my
yeah,
god,
those
that would be
trees.
so crazy because I'm already short as it is, and like normal sized people will make me feel short. So like I can't imagine like being next to those trees that are like hundreds of feet tall. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, nature's bonkers.
yeah,
I feel that. What are you self-conscious about?
my face is crooked. I am very self-conscious about.
I'm
All
not
right,
laughing at you.
I know.
I just did
You're
not
laughing
expect-
with me.
I did not expect you to say that. Okay.
So, when I was like 3, I was running around at my Grammy's house. Grammy. I was running around at my Grammy's house in her dining room, and I hit my chin on her dining room table, and I bit through my tongue. And I think that's what made my jaw crooked. I don't know if you can tell, but my jaw goes that way. Like, if you look right at my face, my chin is not right in the center.
Oh.
You notice?
I didn't notice until you said anything.
Well, anyway, so my jaw goes this way. It's not centered, and probably nobody else notices this.
Right.
And I don't notice it when somebody takes a picture of me. Is it like whatever? I don't notice it when I look at myself in the mirror. But when somebody takes a picture of me and it's the opposite way of how I'm usually seeing my face, I'm like, holy shit, my jaw is so crooked. So I'm really self-conscious about that. I'm like, how do I fix that? I don't think there's any way.
Yeah.
I had braces when I was like 15, and they used this like rubber band thing to try to shift my lower jaw a little bit. And I think they did, but like you can't, it's not like a rubber band's gonna do that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Who do you look up to?
Definitely my mom. So one of the reasons I look up to my mom so much is because we have such a great relationship. Like, we've kind of always had a best friend sort of relationship. And, you know, I'm 28 and I want to have kids probably in the next couple of years. And I really want a daughter so that I can have like a little mini me. And that hopefully one day, like, we can be best friends like me and my mom are. And we can do like fun things together.
Yeah.
Because it probably feels really good for my mom, you know, that I want to come visit her and I want to call her and like we do things together and and stuff like that. So I want to be able to experience that.
Yeah, for sure.
And she just left her asshole husband, which was really hard to do. So
yeah,
I'm really, really proud of her for that, because she doesn't make a crazy ton of money or anything like that. And it's hard for her to live on her own. And it was a hard decision to make, you know, to leave him.
Right.
I mean, it would have been hard for me. I can totally understand, like, that had to have been super nerve-wracking. So I'm very proud of her for not just doing what was easy.
Right. Hell yeah. Okay. And the last question is, what do you have to say to the world?
Not fuck you. Please, for the love of God, be kinder. It's easy to do things that are just good for you and things that are selfish, and like I'm totally guilty of doing things like that too, but try to think about others when you're conducting your daily life. Try to think about all the great things that you have. I mean, especially us who are middle class and live in the United States and, you know, don't have to worry about where we're going to get food from or things like that. Like, think about people in other countries, or I mean, even here, there are plenty of poor people in the United States who don't have those things and who have to wonder how they're going to eat, where they're going to get clean water. Like, and then we're worried about like real stupid shit. And that doesn't mean it's not okay to be, you know, upset about your own problems, because if we played that this person has it way worse than you game, nobody would ever be allowed to be upset about anything. But like, try to appreciate what you have and try to give back where you can. And also appreciate people for their differences, because differences are good, not scary.
Yes.
Unless somebody's coming after you, like with drugs or a gun or
with drugs.
Here, have some Coke. Nobody's gonna be doing that. But unless somebody's like legitimately chasing you with a gun, like you're fine.
Yes.
It's good to learn.
Show us what you drew.
It's so stupid. I literally drew this tiny square of hearts.
Is there meaning behind it?
I like bright colors, and I like stupid fucking like My Little Pony shit, like like rainbows, and like if I had a stationery company, it would look like Lisa Frank. So that's basically what I'm drawing. I'm like, ooh, let me draw my next jewelry designs.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. No, I can't do that. I don't want to do that one.
I'm using all of it. You get that right.
This is Sydney, and I'm in the flesh.
They will never, they will never, they will never, they will never.